Okay, let's see if we can fix the page head. We need to ensure that we see the moon, and we need to ensure that the text is not too wide, but still this area should span the full width, because if we take a peek at this one, we can see that it spans the full width of this one. So we need to fix that in some way. And how can we fix that? Well, if we go back here, because what we want to do is that we want to, because now this one is placed in the wrapper that has a maximum width, and we want this one still to span all the way to the edge. And we can do that if we do like this. First of all, it is the page head. Page head. And if we set a negative margin that is exactly the same as this distance, then we move the item to the very left edge. And then if we set the same negative margin on the right side, then we move it also to the right edge. So then we get a full width element. But how can we know how tall this is, or the length of this one? Well, the problem is that it depends. So we need to do some kind of calculation, because the browser always knows the width. And we can do that because if we think that we can use a fact that 100% of an element is always the width of the element, even if we then move it, because it uses that what is the width at the moment of the calculation. So we can use that, because if I do like this, and this one is kind of the width of the element, and this is 100%. And the full width of this one, if I do like this, then this one is 100% of the viewport. So if I take 100% of the viewport minus 100% width, then I get this distance and that distance. So this is kind of double the distance. I need to set the margin to half of that one, and half of 100 is 50. So we can use this one. So we can set margin, and we want to have 0 margin at the top and bottom, and then the same margin on the left and right side. So here we can do a calculation, and then we can set 50% minus 50 viewport width. So if I do this, we can now see that now this spans the full width here. Now we have another problem though, that is that we want the content within the page head to still be contained in the maximum width. So can we move it back in some way? Yes, we can do that, because we can add a padding that is kind of the same as this one. And now we can do a padding. We had padding at the bottom, I think, so maybe we need to do it 0 at the top and calc, and now we should have a positive value here, of course. So now we do it in the opposite order. We take 50 of the viewport width minus 50%. Then we set 0. No, we had something up here of the page head. We had 6m's at the bottom. Okay, so let's get that one back here. We probably need that one also. 6m, and then again calc of 50 viewport width minus 50%, like that. Now we can see that now we have squeezed the content into this one. Okay, now we have another problem, and this problem we actually had even on the narrow screen, because when I reset the info box to use Flexbox, then we actually moved everything to the flex start in the vertical direction. So they are left aligned, and this should be right aligned. So I need to actually go up here to the page head at the top here, and then we also need to set that the page head it's a class info box that should have align items of flex and flex dash and. So now we have placed everything to the right. And now we have another problem. That is, this text is way too big, but that should we only fix on the big screen, at least for this one. So let's go here and let's add a page head, still without dash. And then we have the P tag, and then set a maximum width of that one. And can that be 250 pixels maybe? That was a little bit too narrow, I think. 300 maybe. Yeah, that's good. So now we can remove all these lines also. Okay, so now we have there. The only thing we have left with this one now is that we need to move the moon back in some way. And that is placed as a background image on the page head, and we need to reset the background position. Background position. And we might also need to reset the background size. Didn't we set that one up here also? Page head background size, yes. So let's use these ones and let's paste them here. And we need to set the background. I think it should be down here again. And now we need to, let's see where we don't see the moon. Let's add something here. 10%. Oops, 10%. That will be too little. 50%. Now we see the moon, but it needs to go further up. 25%. Yeah, that's pretty good. 28. Yeah, it's slightly bigger. Now, this one will be bigger if we increase the size of the window. But I think we can't see that in this one, how it behaves when we kind of increase the size. So I think this will be good enough. Maybe it should be 27 or 26. Yeah, something like that. So now we have also fixed the page header.